The Worst Boy in the World. Chapter 2. Granddad. Every weekend, Dad loads us all into the car and we drive 30 miles down the coast to his mom and Dad's home. Our grandparents live in the seaside village of Dunkeld, which is on a headland that sticks out into the sea like a Stone Age arrowhead. Grandad is one of the two Dunkeld lighthouse keepers, and he lives with our gran in an apartment on the ground floor. When I grow up, I plan to take over Grandad's job and live in the lighthouse apartment. I will hang a sign on the door that says, "No little brothers allowed." There won't be any girls allowed either, except my mum, who can come in to make dinners and do washing and stuff. Grandad has already started training me for the job. Every Saturday, we climb the 116 steps to the very top of the lighthouse to polish the lighthouse lenses in the lamp room. Grandad wears a special canvas belt with pockets for polishing cream, rags, and a water bottle. For my 9th birthday, Grandad made a belt for me too. I learned to stitch in the merchant navy, he explained that day, buckling the belt around my waist. Now you are my official helper. I like being Grandad's official helper because it is something just for me. Marty won't help because there is no money involved, and my little brothers are not allowed to climb the narrow spiral staircase because it's too dangerous. You can see this spiral staircase, which he says is too dangerous, which he is climbing with his Grandad. So, Grandad and I climb the steps together. I count every one just in case some have gone missing. But the number is always the same, 116, if you count the giant first step twice. That's Peg Leg Barnes' giant step, Grandad told me once. All the steps used to be that big until Peg Leg Barn, a lighthouse keeper with a wooden leg, chiseled them all down, starting at the top. It took him 30 years, and unfortunately, he died before he could do the last one. All that because the steps were a little high for him. It seems as though each step has a story, and sometimes Grandad tells me them all before we reach the top. But finally, we make it, and the first thing we do is take a long drink from our water bottles. Not too long though, because there are 116 steps between us and the nearest bathroom. The lamp room has glass all the way around so that the light can get out. This means that anyone in the lamp room has a fantastic view of the sea and the headland. In front of us, lines of white waves roll in from the horizon, and behind us, the headland cuts a grey line through the sea. People in America would pay big money for a view like this, says Grandad. He says this every single time, and he's probably right. After a moment admiring the view, we climb up an old wooden ladder into the lamp itself. This is like climbing inside a giant glass vase. And when you are in there, you get an idea of how the world must look to a goldfish. The lenses magnify everything until even a fly sitting on the glass looks like a giant bug-eyed monster. One Saturday, While we were inside the lenses, I told Grandad about my problem. I have a problem, Grandad, I said, pouring some polish onto my favorite rag. What would that be, Bosun? Grandad calls me Bosun, which means second in command. My problem is problems. I have no one to tell my problems to. Mum and Dad are always too busy. That is a problem, said Grandad, spreading a blob of polish across one of the lenses. Everybody needs someone to talk to, so I thought maybe you could be my someone. Gran says that you don't do much except polish the lenses. Oh, really? Is that what your Gran says? Yes, she says the lighthouse computer does all the work, and you just hang around up here pretending to be busy. I see. So you reckon I would have plenty of time to listen to your problems? I reckon so. Grandad stopped polishing. Okay, Bosun. I'll make you a deal. I'll listen to your sob stories if you listen to mine. This sounded fair to me, so I stuck out my hand. It's a deal. Grandad shook my hand. Just one story a week, though. I don't want to be crying myself to sleep every Saturday night. One story a week. And if they're only small problems, exaggerate a bit just to keep things interesting. I like stuff with jungle animals. Okay, Grandad, I said. Although none of my complaints had anything to do with jungle animals. There was a cat next door that always hissed at me, but that probably didn't count. Grandad finished polishing and stuffed the rag back into his belt. Right then, round one next Saturday. I hope something really bad happens to you because I have stories that I've wanted to get off my chest for years. And funny as it seems, I kind of hoped something bad would happen to me too. Something with jungle animals.